Ansel Elgort has lived most of his life in front of cameras, but the moment that quietly reshaped everything didn't happen at a movie premiere, a film festival, or a red carpet. It happened on a regular street in New York City. No announcement, no captions, no headlines at first, just one unexpected detail that made people stop scrolling. Ansel Elgort holding a newborn. At first, many people assumed they were mistaken because celebrities are often photographed with nieces, nephews, or friends' children. But something about this moment felt different. It didn't look staged, it didn't look performative, it looked personal. And once a source confirmed the news, the reaction shifted instantly. Ansel Elgort is officially a father. What made this announcement feel so striking wasn't just what happened, but how quietly it happened. In an industry built on visibility, this moment almost slipped by unnoticed, and that alone raised questions. Because when celebrities want attention, they know exactly how to get it. So when they choose silence instead, it usually means something deeper is going on. The sighting happened on January 13th when Elgort was spotted walking through New York City carrying the newborn himself, without obvious bodyguards, without a press team guiding the moment, without any attempt to turn it into a headline. Just a father doing something incredibly ordinary. And yet for fans who have followed his career for more than a decade, this simple image felt loaded with meaning because this wasn't just a baby, it was a turning point. The confirmation came shortly after that at 31 years old, Ansel Elgort had welcomed his first child, but details were scarce. No public name, no announcement about the baby's gender, no timeline, just a quiet confirmation from a source, and then nothing. No follow-up posts, no interviews, no celebration shared with the public, and that silence wasn't accidental. To understand why, you have to look at where Ansel Elgort comes from and what fame has looked like for him since the very beginning. He was born into a world where creativity and visibility were normal. His mother, Greth Holby, built a respected career as an opera director, and his father, Arthur Elgort, became one of the most influential fashion photographers in the world, working with Vogue for decades and shaping how celebrities were seen by the public. From an early age, Ansel was surrounded by art, cameras, and performance, and he once explained that his father would sometimes include him in photo shoots when an extra was needed, teaching him early on that if you're not the star of the moment, your job is not to distract from it. That understanding stayed with him as his acting career didn't build slowly, it exploded. In 2013, he appeared in Carrie, but what came next changed everything when he played Augustus Waters in The Fault in Our Stars, a film that became a phenomenon and turned him into a household name almost overnight. Interviews multiplied, fan attention skyrocketed, and his image became unavoidable, tied to vulnerability and emotional depth. But the pressure followed just as fast. He moved into the Divergent series, cementing his place as one of Hollywood's most visible young actors, navigating massive fame at an incredibly young age. Then came Baby Driver in 2017, a film that shifted the conversation entirely, earning him critical praise and a Golden Globe nomination, pushing him into leading man territory. That momentum carried into Steven Spielberg's West Side Story, one of the most anticipated adaptations of the decade, placing him under intense artistic and public scrutiny. But around that time, the narrative began to change. Online discussions grew louder, public opinion became more divided, and his presence in major projects slowed as reports and online conversations surfaced that sparked controversy. While not all claims were substantiated or legally pursued, the discussions alone changed how his career was perceived, and instead of pushing back publicly, Ansel stepped back. Appearances became less frequent, social media activity slowed, interviews became rare, and what looked like disappearance was actually recalibration. Long before Hollywood, Ansel trained as a dancer, beginning ballet at age 9 and studying for years at the School of American Ballet before graduating from LaGuardia High School. And in recent years, he quietly returned to that foundation by making his professional dance debut in Quadrophenia, a rock ballet, a project that wasn't built for headlines or viral moments, but for meaning. Rather than chasing attention, he seemed to be choosing intention. And now, with the news of his first child, that shift feels even more deliberate. Parenthood changes priorities, especially for someone who grew up under constant observation, and the instinct to protect what matters most becomes stronger. The way this news surfaced quietly suggests clear boundaries. No overexposure, no public access, just life. Fans reacted with surprise and support, many noting how fitting it feels that Ansel would keep this chapter private, given everything he's experienced. And that reaction reveals something important. People aren't just watching Ansel Elgort for his next role anymore. They're watching to see who he becomes, because fatherhood reshapes identity, changes how success is measured, and alters what risks are worth taking. Ansel hasn't spoken publicly about becoming a father, but his actions speak clearly through silence. No announcements, no branding, no narratives crafted for the public, just a quiet step into a new chapter, leaving one lingering question about what comes next. Will he return to major Hollywood productions with a different perspective, continue choosing smaller, intentional projects, or maintain a low-profile balance between art and family? No one knows yet, and that uncertainty is exactly why this moment matters, because sometimes the biggest changes don't arrive with applause. They happen quietly, reshaping everything behind the scenes. Ansel Elgort didn't ask the world to watch him become a father. The world just happened to notice. In an industry built on constant exposure, that choice might say more than any headline ever could.